Hello, welcome to FTUK's weekly catch-up live stream. Hope everything is well with you wherever you are in the world and what you've been trading this week. In fact, this month, because today marks the end of the summer pretty much and the end of the month of August as well. So yeah, I hope your summer trading has been kind to you, whatever you've been involved in. This is now getting super exciting because we now go into what I believe to be my favorite bit of the year when markets are really active. So I want to break that down in some detail in today's live stream. And yeah, there's tons of other stuff to get through. Some massively exciting news about our new futures trading, which is coming up just around the corner. My name is Nick Quinn. I am the CEO of FTUK, and we really appreciate your company and really appreciate you watching the live stream and joining our social channels. Please do subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed before, because it's growing nicely and there's lots of content now on there which is worth being involved in. And of course, go to our Discord channel there, speak to Reza. Best place to find out everything that's happening at FTUK, and I say that every single week. Let us drill into what we are going to be doing today. I want to look at the weekly payouts. I want to look at the big guns that we've had over the course of this week and the new funded traders. And it's been a really good... August is actually quite a quiet month, but at FTUK, it has been pretty buoyant, certainly in payouts. And also in new funded traders with the scaling and stuff like that. So yeah, it has been more active than I thought it was going to. So I want to touch on that, and then I want to go through a massive futures update. I was like a kid at Christmas this week, playing around with a new platform, and I want to show it to you. It's not totally finished yet, but we are talking days now rather than weeks before the new futures is going to be up and running. And I'm so immensely proud of the team and what we've managed to put together, and I hope you like it. Then I want to talk about month-end flows, because that's today. It's so important. We talk about it every single month. If you've never seen it, you need to, because it can really make or break your month. So pay attention to that. And then I want to just sort of move that forward and look at how you would plan your trading for the rest of the year, because I do genuinely believe that we are now entering the best period of markets that you see in a year, that sort of the window from September up to December. So yeah, lots and lots and lots to do. So let's jump straight in and let's have a look at the weekly payouts, because there's been some fantastic ones. Really good payouts over the course of August, as I was saying. Yeah, it's really cool. Dan E, $2,907. Congratulations to you. Karami A as well. This is a great payout. I saw this on the dashboard a little earlier this morning as well. 2,200, fantastic payout. Superb gold trader. He's trading a 100k instant funding account since the beginning of August. 213 trades, trading gold, NASDAQ, and the Dow. Really quite aggressive scalping, but boy, that's a solid performance on an account like that for just for the month of August. So yeah, Karami, well done. I've not had a chance to look at anybody else's accounts, but congratulations to everybody else. Some good payouts, as you can see. Ron F, $3,173. And Radek as well, $2,093. Yeah, total $41,495. So a really solid week. On the funded trader side, it's good to see a lot of these guys here were scaling up on the instant funding accounts as well. Petrus C as well scaled up, and really nice there on your level 2 there. 200k now. Kirk 100k. Jeff W 50k. It's really nice to see that. Of course, we've got the static funding at the moment. The static drawdown on the instant funding accounts at the moment, which is a really great offer on the website, and that is something you should maybe consider getting involved in, and some of these guys are taking advantage of that. So a total in funded accounts over the course of this week alone of 1,470,000. My goodness me, that is a big number. Yeah, it's really good to see. It's been a good August for both payouts and then also for funded trader as well at FTUK. Any of these guys, if you want to join this pool of traders, you are welcome to join them at any point in time. All you basically need to do is head over to the website and go to the free trial section over here. Click on the buttons here, select your trading platform, whether that wants to be DX Trades or Match Trader or Trade Locker, which is an immensely popular platform, and you can trade a 100k account, which is modeled on the two-step. It's modeled on the two-step, and you can trade that for 14 days, absolutely free, no credit card needed. Just have it, just join in, sign up with your email, download the platform, and give it a try and see what you make of what we've got on offer at FTUK. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, and I absolutely promise you, I'm always surprised at how many of our most successful traders, when you look back on the accounts, they started with a free trial. So it's really a good way to just get involved in the community and see what you can do. So yeah, please do. Please do join in on the free trials. Also, as well, there is we've got these new little social graphics that we're sticking with as well. But this one, we did this before this morning for Karami as well, so we'll get that posted on socials. Well done to you. It's an absolutely storming performance there on gold. Now, that's the weekly payouts. Let's talk about futures. I am so excited to do bring futures to FTUK. It's none of these things are easy. They're always difficult journeys, but we are nearly there now with FTUK Futures. I think we've got the right blend of plans. We've touched on it once or twice in the live streams. I've got some new news this week about FTUK Futures. It's just around the corner. I can't put a specific date on it yet because there's still one or two things to iron out, but the platform has arrived this over the course of the last week, and it's being plumbed in at the moment, and I'm really excited to show it to you. It's completely custom built. It's purely built for prop trading, the futures markets. We're talking the CME group, CME and the CME group, the CBOT obviously, and the Eurex and all the big exchanges that deal in futures around the world. It's going to be called FTUK XT. That is going to be the name of the platform, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's been custom built for us, so it is completely bespoke. Let me just see if I can bring it up and show you now. Make sure I get the right button. There you go. You can see it in front of you. There. It's been built by. Custom built for us by Dev Experts. They are the company behind DX Trade. So it's got that DX feel about it. We believe that they do a really fantastic job of putting the kind of granular detail that all traders need when you're executing professionally in the market. So it's even got its own sort of proper label on there. Absolutely amazing. So this has been custom built for FTUK. It connects. You can't trade the traditional accounts through. This is futures. This is regulated markets through exchanges. So the data is completely different, and you can see it. So it looks just like any other trading platform, but trust me, the engineering and the workings behind this are very, very different indeed. Now, it's not completely set up at the moment, but this is basically going to be the rough layout of how it's going to work. You can see you've got a trading ladder on there. There's a NASDAQ chart on here, and you can buy and sell and stuff, and add to your positions and all that stuff. All the functionality is now being sort of like corrected. There's a few things to get right on there. The data feeds at the moment are not completely all connected. So that's because all of these things, when you're doing trading platforms, it all comes in separate components, and the data comes from the CME, which is an exchange. So that has to be sort of piped in separately. So the tech is all here, but we're just waiting for the actual feed to be connected in the right way with all the right markets. But you can see it there on the screen. So obviously you can manipulate this however you like. That's one of the reasons why we went with down the route of Dev Experts, because it's so customizable. Because futures traders are going to be particularly picky with the way that they want to execute their trades. So you've got the choice of a trading ladder on here, which is my preferred method of buying and selling contracts on the futures. You've also got time and sales. This is where it starts to get good, because you can start to monitor the actual exchange trades that are going through the exchange, which is an absolute game changer. Amazing looking charts, very, very similar to TradingView. So if you're used to that, you're not going to have any issues. You can see the NASDAQ there in front of you, all the functionality you would expect in terms of accounts and all that kind of analytics. And of course, with it being DX trades as well, it's just so customizable. You can stick anything on here. What I've always liked about the DX trades environment is the trading journal. I've always loved it. I thought it's been a very, very good way of integrating that into a trading platform. And they've got lots of other stuff as well that you can play around with. I think there's a heat map as well that will show you all of the different asset classes. Let me just see if I can get this on here. Yeah, so there's a full heat map as well, which will be so cool, particularly when you look at all of the different futures markets. Don't worry about the symbols as well at the moment. You will get used to them. We'll put content out around that, so we will help people understand all that. But that's the ES, that's the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract there. Those are corn futures over there. 6E, your currencies, they're always led by a number 6 and then the letter of the currency as well. But you will get used to this, so that heat map will give you a good idea of what's up and what's down. So yeah, it's so customizable, and yeah, very pleased with it indeed. It's not ready yet though. It's not completely finished, so the functionality is not quite there yet, particularly on the data side. So we can't look at every single market at the moment, but I couldn't resist giving you a sneak peek of it, because it's been a long time in the making, a long time in the planning, and of course, you know, it's very good to go in that direction. And you know, with it being futures, it's probably the biggest passion I've had in markets for nearly 20 years now. I'm very proud to be involved in bringing futures markets to FTUK. It's a real achievement, and it's such an amazing trading experience. If you've never traded futures before, we put a poll on YouTube this week, and a lot of people have never traded futures. You've got to try it. It's the same, but it feels completely different. The contract sizes are different. The way the accounts are going to operate is going to be slightly different. It will feel faster. I'm convinced that a lot of people will say, yeah, it feels faster. It's more aggressive. So there's lower leverage in there, but it will feel aggressive because of the size of the contracts that you're going to be trading. But it's well put together, and it's the professional end of the market. It's, you know, you've got integrity in the price action. So here, what I mean by that, you'll get to know all this, and we'll go through it in detail. But say, for example, you're looking at the Nasdaq there. I mean, what's this? This is on a 15-minute chart at the moment. But there's no arguing on the exchange what the low print of that candle is. That's it. It's the same for you, it's the same for a hedge fund, it's the same for a bank, for anybody else that's trading NASDAQ futures, that particular contract. That low of that candle there, at that sort of like that wick, where that swing low point there, that's it. And that's the same on your daily candles, and it's the same on every other chart as well. So if your technical analysis just stands just as much of a chance of being effective as anybody else's. And that's such an important point, because in the over-the-counter market, because of the way that retail brokerages work, is the market makers will always wrap their own market around the interbank prices that they get. So that's why you always get a slight lean on the prices. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean that if you go from one broker to another, the high and low in euro dollar today will be different on one broker than it is on another. Well, if you're working in a very precise way, you know, that can cause you problems unless you're happy to just sit in one ecosystem. The great thing about futures is that you don't get that. It's the same for everyone. That's a massive level playing field, coupled with exchange volume, so you know exactly how many contracts have been trading. You can calculate that out. You can understand the actual size of the volume and the size of the market and the dollar amount that's being traded. It's very transparent. A completely different trading experience. I do apologize, but I could talk about this all day long. I'm very passionate about futures. So that's our platform. In days, not weeks now at FTUK, you'll soon get access to this page as well. This is one of our pages which will be taking you through very slowly how futures trading works and how there's a bit of the history behind it, what it means, what the access is, the different asset classes that you can get access to as well. All of this information is going to be available to you too. There's video content in there. We've got a PDF as well that you can download that breaks it all down in detail. I am massively passionate about futures trading, the integrity of the markets, what it means, and the opportunities that it offers to every trader. It's very important, and I'm a big believer in it. So yeah, I want to make sure that we are doing this in the right way, because there's a lot of integrity in these markets, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. So yeah, all that stuff is going to be accessible to you very soon. So yeah, that's the new FTUK XT futures trading platform. I can't wait. I can't wait to get it all live for everybody. And obviously, there's prices of this. We're going to have massive discounts as well, so don't worry. And of course, you've got the choice of the subscription model as well if you want to do that, or you can go down the instant funding route as well, which is obviously what we're really famous for. The opportunities are going to be amazing. Yeah, and we're approaching the time of year when trading is at its best. So yeah, it's really, really fantastic. So there you go, FTUK XT, just around the corner. Let's now talk about month-end flows, because this is going to lead us into talking about the end-of-year trading. Month-end, that's today. It's so important to remember this. I talk about this pretty much nearly every month, but you do need to pay attention to this, because if you've not seen it before, it can really screw you up and you can really end up in a mess. What you're going to find is that the volatility and the volume will increase towards the end of the month, and particularly on that final day, which is today. Even worse when it's like quadruple witching, which is when all of the options as well expire all at the same time, because there's a lot of stuff going through a bottleneck, yeah? So it creates volatility, a lot of price volatility. So you see that at the end of the month, volatility increases as well as trading volume, and that can be why you can have some moves that you can't necessarily really explain. So you've got to be careful. Now, why is this all going on? So basically in markets, the close of anything is considered to be the most important measurement that you need to pay attention to. So the close of a day, the close of a candle, the close of a week, the close of a month, it's always the most important bit. Why is that? Because you can't forecast the future. You can only go off what you've just seen. So if you've got a price chart that's just printed something significant, like that's the end of today, or it's the end of this month, that measurement, the whole industry will base stuff around it. So you'll have people and computers and algorithms and traders that will make decisions based on that metric. So it puts so much importance around the end print of anything, and that's across all of the time frames, and when stuff is expiring and all that sort of stuff. So what it does is it pushes people to make a decision, and when people are making decisions in markets, they tend to click the button in some capacity. So that creates our volatility and it creates our volume. So you will find today that at the end of the European session, excuse me, which is in about sort of like 4 or 5 hours time, and then at the end of the US session in particular, you will feel that volume really increase, and you will feel that volatility in the price action, and there will be, particularly if you're scalping on 5-minute and 1-minute time frames, you will see it, yeah, and it can really screw you up. So just be careful if you've never experienced before, but watch it, because it teaches you so much about trading and how sort of like markets function. You can really learn a lot from these kinds of things. The key assets that you're going to need to watch as you move into the close, it's going to be the last half an hour of the close, particularly the last hour. I mean, it's always going to be the big guns, you know, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, those kind of big indices. Volume will shift through them at the end of the month. And then also the major FX pairs, anything dollar-based, dollar-yen, the euro against the dollar, the pound against the dollar as well. And then your major commodities as well, potentially gold, but, you know, the lean is more on the component. But when you measure that and you see the volatility, this is a good opportunity to look at markets like this, but look at a few of them in tandem, because you can, if you want to gauge what does gold feel like at the moment, you can get a sense of that by watching the dollar volatility at the end of the month against gold, whilst you're watching the euro dollar or the dollar index or something like that. You can get a real feel for these markets when you observe those inflection points, because the known quantity is that you're going to get volatility. That can be part of your trading edge. It really can. So yeah, super important. Month end is a massively, massively important time. And if you've never done it before, stay out, just watch and learn, because it will teach you something. And that's going to take us into probably another reason for me. I'm so excited this week about the markets and the opportunities that you're going to have, because we're now approaching what I believe to be the best time of the year for trading. So now's the time to start planning what you're going to be doing. Markets are seasonal. They do have seasonal tendencies depending on what the underlying asset is. You know, wheat, yeah, that's seasonal. Yeah, it doesn't grow all year round. And therefore the buying and selling of wheat follows a certain undulation throughout the year. All markets have a sense of seasonality. So generally when we talk about the market, excuse me, generally when we talk about the market and we say, okay, the big movement of financial markets throughout the course of the year. The big times are obviously January to April, come back from Christmas, January, right? How we're going to make money this year. Those decisions are put into plans, and those plans put into action in the first 4 weeks of the year. And that run up to Easter, you get a lot of movement in price action that's sustained and underpinned by big money. And then July to August, well, it can be a bit thinner. Some markets can be a bit quieter. Some can be choppy. The opportunities can be hard to sort of like figure out. It's not the most ideal time. Although, as I said before with the weekly payouts, I was surprised. August is traditionally not considered to be a great time in the prop industry and within markets generally. But it hasn't been too bad, to tell you the truth. But it can be. It's not the best time of year. That's essentially it. You make the best of it. But it can be some time of the year when people will make a mess of things and they'll destroy the year. And so what they tend to do is they come back to the table. All the big guys come back. All the big banks and the hedge funds are then looking into the last quarter of the year, from sort of October to December. But in markets, it tends to be up to the first half of December, because once you've got the second week of December, people just say, okay, I want to just go to the office party, or I want to just, relax, or I want to wind down for Christmas, or I want to think about the holidays or something like that. So in financial markets terms, it tends to be September up to the first half of December. That tends to be a massive window. And I genuinely believe that is the best time of year to be trading. Very quickly start to think about the end of the year and planning what next year will look like. So this is a key reason of what is going to drive people's decisions, because you're no longer looking forward into the year. You're just thinking about what you're going to be doing to cap off your year. And that depends whether you've had a good year or whether it depends whether you've had a bad year. And then people very quickly, they start to think about what's going to be coming down the road for the next year. So there's a lot of concentration and focus around financial markets at this time of year in that run up to Christmas. And it amplifies the opportunities that are potentially available to you. So why is it such a good time to trade? Because all participants tend to be highly active, and that's everyone: retail traders, prop traders, traditional investment vehicles, people buying and selling ETFs in Vanguard or Hargreaves Lansdown or any of the big BlackRock or whatever. All of the big banks and the hedge funds, they're all active in markets. So it's a very, very concentrated period of time. And if you think about the logic of that, if you've really made a mess of August, people will look at, okay, this is my chance now to make some money back for the year. This is my chance to portfolio managers. This is my chance to put together a good year. And I'm under pressure to do so as well, because I've got to show a good return. I've got to beat the S&P 500. Yeah, I've got to beat my benchmarks. So there's a lot of pressure on that last window of the year. And of course, human beings, they always leave it to the last minute. Yeah. So everyone who's had a bad year is looking to make it up and looking to make a good return for the year. Plus, everybody who's had a good year so far, they're still got to work for the rest of the year. So they're still active, and they're usually looking at it from on high because they've done really well. So they tend to be kind of like tinkering around the edges, but everybody is concentrating on the market. It's the time when money is really, really made or lost. So what do you do? How do you tackle it? Well, I cannot emphasize this enough. You've got to be in it. You've got to be here. This is the time of the market, time of the year now, where you've really got to be involved. You should double down on your discipline. Yeah. The strategy that you've got, the strategy that you've studied, the way that you've perfected it, it's always been those strategies, particularly you back tested them as well, or they're off the shelf strategies that you've coded or something like that. They're always built on meaningful price action, on theoretical, metrics. Yeah. That integrity, you'll find that in the price action, because the weight behind the moves is making the sequences right. You should remove some of that ragged volatility. So therefore, if you had to pick, and this is, people will argue against this, but if you had to pick, then potentially being a trend follower is going to be a good thing, because you're going to have the validity in the trends. The markets that start to make a higher high and higher low, when they sort of rotate back down, if the bulls are there, you will find that support. So you'll find integrity in the pullbacks, yeah? So being a trend follower is potentially a good idea rather than just sort of being someone who's a range trader. But if you aren't a trend follower, don't fight it. Don't counter trend everything, because the big money will support it as you move forward into the end of the year. Now, it's a time to be aggressive, and I was cautious when I wrote that on the slide there, because I tend to come at the live streaming and the stuff that we say and the way well, we obviously don't give trading advice because that's not what we do, but the way that you would like speak and talk about these things, I'm always saying, be cautious, another opportunity around the corner. 3 buses, they always come at once, that kind of thing. Don't worry if I always say that, but I got to be honest with you, now is the time between now and Christmas where you should be involved. It is the time to push the lever and actually go for it, because of all of the opportunities that will be there in the markets. So now is the time to get involved. Get a second account, look for some good discounts. The whole prop industry will have good discounts, and obviously then it runs into Black Friday, which is just huge discounts. So now's the time to get involved in your strategy and pay attention and sort of push the gas a little bit rather than be cautious. Unless you've had an absolutely outstanding year, then obviously, just sit back and go to the Bahamas for the next 3 months. But it's a good time of year. And as well, if you're learning, you can learn a lot, and you really can develop as a trader once you know the price action is good, because there's nothing quite like when you're learning if you do put in a decent performance. And I don't just mean to say that you make some money. I mean to say you put together a series of trades where you've got a good batch of trades that have gone really well controlled, plus you've got losers in there, and you've proved that you can handle both sides of the market and come out ahead. This is the time of year you can test that. This is the time of the year that you can put that performance together. Really, really super, super, super important. So yeah, now's the time to get involved in the markets. Now, this all starts, how does it all hang together? Well, like I said at the beginning, markets are seasonal. So what tends to mark the start of this period of time is this day here. It's the Labor Day holiday in the United States. That usually occurs on the first Monday of the month, which of course is this Monday, which is the 1st of September as well. So from that point on, it's game on. So I would say my opinion is that from Monday is the time to be in tune with the fundamentals, the economics, the price action, the strategies, understanding your risk reward, understanding how you're making money, get a second account, run another strategy, because it's the best either testing period or the best time of the year to put in a performance. And then by the second week of Christmas, the second week of December, it's all over. And that's it. And you start thinking about 2026, but you got to love it. It's so cool. What an exciting industry. I still love it now after all these years. So there we go. That's how to plan, or that's the way I would interpret the end of 2025. Now, we've changed the rules on the instant funding account. We've got static drawdowns. It's not going to be around for very long, so it's a really good time now to get that static drawdown if you want it. And some of those guys that got on funding, they jumped in and took advantage of it, and the proof is in the pudding. So make sure you grab yourself a static drawdown on your instant funding by default over the course of the weekend. 30% off as well, which is an outstanding amount of discount. Power 30 is the code that you need. And of course, we have the faster weekly payouts add-on added in for the challenges if you want to buy a 1-step or a 2-step over the course of the next couple of days. Goodness me. Yeah. So much going on at the moment at FTUK, and it's so much going on in the markets as well. That's everything for today. Thank you very much for joining us. The best bit of the year is just around the corner. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you all